Hi and welcome to another episode of Roettgen Braai Master. Today we're making sourdough bread in the Dutch oven on the gas barbecue. And what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is all we need for today. Now we need some lukewarm water, we need some salt, we need some sugar, we need some dry yeast, as well as a sourdough mix, and that comes pre-mixed, and I love that very much. And then we have two different types of flour. This is rye flour and this is spelt flour. Now spelt flour is one of the oldest flours that you can get basically since mankind exists. Now in the first step we're going to put the dry yeast as well as the sugar into the lukewarm water and give it a bit of a mix to make sure that the yeast is starting to do its work. And then we're going to put the sourdough mix whilst it's still closed into lukewarm water at about 30 degrees Celsius so that the yeast, the sourdough in there can activate already. Now whilst the yeast is starting to do its job and the sourdough is starting to warm up, we're going to mix the rye as well as the spelt flour, and we're going to add the salt to it and give it a bit of a mix. Now the sourdough mix has sufficiently warmed up and we're going to put it in with the yeast as well, mix it a little bit, and then we're going to put it in the flour. Now what I like to do next is I like to form a little indentation in the center of the dough. And then I start to pour the mixture slowly into the dough and always go from the outside in, so that it mixes nicely with the flour. Well, I'm done shaping the dough, and I was kneading it a little bit on this cutting board, obviously with a little bit of flour, so it just makes it a little easier. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to put it in the Dutch oven, and as I don't like to have the dough directly on the Dutch oven, I like to use some baking paper, and what I usually do is I cut off this little end here a little bit, so that when you put it into the Dutch oven, it folds quite nicely and covers a lot of surface area. Alright, we're going to put it back in, or we're going to put it into the Dutch oven, and we're going to leave that covered until it has about doubled in size. About an hour later, the dough has risen and probably doubled in size, roughly, and we're going to put it now on the barbecue at 220 degrees for 15 minutes and then another 45 minutes at 180 degrees. An hour later, and we're ready. And doesn't that look fantastic? Now what I've done is after about 45 minutes I removed the lid, kept the temperature at 180 degrees Celsius, just to give it a nice crust on the top as well. And look, it has come off the baking paper, so it's absolutely lovely. The bottom isn't burned. I think it looks absolutely great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let that rest and cool down, and then we're going to cut it open. Alright guys, the bread has sufficiently cooled down. We're ready to cut it. So moment of truth. It has a nice bark on it. Nah, still fighting me a little bit. And there we go, and I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Now I'm really thrilled. This is my first time I'm actually baking bread. So let's see how it tastes. And there you have it, our rye and spelt sourdough bread made in the Dutch oven. Absolutely delicious. Now if you did enjoy the video, and I hope you did, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. And please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come. And I hope to see you soon again at Roettgen Braai Master.